Every species on Earth has spent millions of years adapting to its specific environment. Fish developed gills to extract oxygen from water. Polar bears grew thick, hollow fur to trap heat in the Arctic. Their bodies are survival machines, calibrated for their exact habitats. Then there is the human body. We are the only creature on this planet that had to invent a chemical paste and rub it on our skin just to safely exist under our own star. Give a human 15 minutes of direct sunlight, and we begin to blister and peel. Our spines represent a failed structural retrofit, built to function as horizontal suspension bridges for walking on all fours. By forcing that bridge upright, evolution subjected our vertebrae to unnatural gravitational compression, resulting in a back pain epidemic affecting 80% of the population. Our constant physical struggle with the environment suggests that we are living on a planet that does not quite fit our biological blueprint. Native organisms generally exist in a closed-loop balance with our ecosystem. We do not. We are currently tearing it apart, clearing forests, poisoning rivers, and driving thousands of species to extinction, suggesting we don't know the local rules. This mismatch extends to our psychology. No other animal is burdened with existential dread or a paralyzing awareness of its own mortality. We are the only species that builds religions and philosophies just to cope with the terror of existing. These destructive behaviors and deep-seated anxieties align with the profile of an invasive species dropped onto a world it wasn't engineered for. In 1973, Francis Crick, the Nobel laureate who decoded the structure of DNA, proposed a wild alternative. He called it directed panspermia, the hypothesis that an intelligent civilization deliberately seeded life on Earth from somewhere else in the galaxy. The chemistry of space travel is already proven. When the Murchison meteorite crashed in 1969, scientists found over 90 different amino acids inside. The raw ingredients for terrestrial life were literally riding through the solar system on a rock. We also know biology can survive the vacuum. Microscopic tardigrades have been exposed to cosmic radiation and temperatures near absolute zero, and they remain viable. Life does not need a planet to survive a journey between worlds. When raw chemical building blocks arrive from the stars and earthly life proves it can endure the vacuum, the idea of an off-world origin becomes a viable biological hypothesis. Mainstream biology counters this with evolutionary mismatch theory. This suggests we aren't travelers from another star, but rather a species walking around in an outdated biological prototype that hasn't had time to finish its final updates. Our susceptibility to the sun was a trade-off. Our ancestors lost protective fur to gain more sweat glands, allowing them to cool down while outrunning prey on the open savanna. The sunburn is simply the price we pay for being the planet's greatest distance runners. Even the danger of childbirth is a mechanical conflict. As we became smarter, our brains grew faster than our birth canals could keep up. This created a biological traffic jam, where evolution tried to balance a bipedal pelvis with a massive cranium. Under this lens, our flaws are the leftover friction of a species evolving faster than its own hardwire can safely adapt. Mismatch theory still struggles with the sheer velocity of human change. Dolphins have maintained complex social lives for 50 million years without building a single tool. We went from sharpened rocks to nuclear physics in just 2 million years. On a planetary timeline, animal intelligence is a flat line. Human progress is a violent vertical spike. A century ago, we invented flight. 70 years later, we lived in orbit. Today, we have digital networks and autonomous robots exploring other planets. No singular biological trigger, whether the FOXP2 gene or the advent of cooking, fully accounts for a transition from prey animal to planetary master in what amounts to a geological blink. When the founders of genetics and evolutionary theory admit our timeline doesn't perfectly add up, it isn't a conspiracy. It is an admission that the current data is incomplete. That constant sense of restlessness and our drive to question everything is our most defining trait. It is the curiosity that built the modern world. Whether we arrived here as a product of Earth's selective forces or as accidental travelers, we remain a species that can't stop looking at the sky, trying to find its way back to the stars.